Hello, hello, and welcome to the Dr. Toomer Talk Show. I'm Dr. Catherine Toomer. I'm a family medicine and community health physician and founder of Total Weight Care Institute, as well as the founder of the new Your Light Wellness and Weight Care Physicians Group, which is a national virtual of wellness and weight care platform that will be launching very soon. And I will give you some information so that if you're looking for, complete and compassionate weight care from very knowledgeable physicians, we have a place for you, and I'll give you some information so that you can put yourself on the wait list. So, today I'm going to talk about holiday stuff because, again, Thanksgiving's day after tomorrow. We've got Christmas coming up, Hanukkah. Um, I'm not sure when Ramadan falls. I know we just had Diwali. So, there's been a lot of celebration around this time of the year. And so, but many of us are in a weight care, in a weight health process, meaning that our health and our weight are sometimes tied together. So our weight is only a reflection of our health anyway. And for some of us, it's more of a reflection than others. And so it's the one thing we can measure. It's really hard. We don't always measure our blood pressure. We don't always measure our blood sugar. We don't always take stock of our moods, which we should, but we always notice a rise or fall of our weight. And that's why it's so important then to understand that, it is just a symptom of something else. And so it's really important to address that something else and recognize that there could be something happening that you need to take care of. And hello, Marcia. Good evening. Thank you for joining. And if you're listening, please say hello and tell me where you're listening from. And if you're watching later, just put in hashtag replay. This is all live streaming into Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. And so it's always on my YouTube channel. So if you miss it now and you want to watch it later or just kind of go back and forth and revisit some of the old topics, then you can all find them all there under the live tab. And so just subscribe and follow. So, oh, wow. Thank you for joining from Barbados. All right. Hello, Sharon. Thank you for joining. So, when it comes to the holidays, there's no reason to fear them. In fact, you should enjoy it. But I often see a lot of people getting anxious around the holidays for various reasons. So, when we're in the holidays, either if we're stressing about anything, if it's finances or lack of time because of all the extra things that have to happen during this time because of travel, because of family relationships, we've just had an election, so I'm sure that's straining some relationships. And so, what um, it's really important then to recognize that this is a stressful time. Even if you enjoy it, even if you like it, it is still can be very stressful. Stress has a significant impact on our health. I talk about this a lot, but it also has a significant impact around our weight because it changes our behavior. It changes the behavior of our body when we eat food. So our body changes what it does to food when we've eaten it. And then it also changes how we interact with people and how we socialize. And so that socialization has an impact. And so the best way to go into the holidays is recognizing that it is different from other times. So you can't do things in the exact same way. And the reason you can't do things in the exact same way is because the activities aren't typical anymore. The things that people do, there's a lot more food around, there's a lot more sweets around, there's a lot more activity, there's a lot more celebrations or parties and all sorts of things. And so it's not the same. So you need to plan. And that's the number one thing to do during the holiday is to plan. Recognize this is a time that is different from other times of the year, and therefore your behavior has to be different during this time of the year. And so by planning how you're going to handle situations that normally may be triggering or pitfalls for you, then that helps But so when going into a situation, if never go into a party hungry, never go into an event hungry. Even if it's something at work, for example, and there's a break room and they're having a party and you haven't eaten yet, make sure you always have snacks around in your desk, a packet of nuts or some cheese and lunch meat or like beef jerky and something, or those little sausages and cheese, something that you can eat and then drink water or something that's sugar free before walking into a room where there's a lot of items that may cause you some problems. And when I say cause you problems, I mean that your body may take it and try to make fat from it rather than make fuel. And for those of us who are very carbohydrate sensitive, that's what does it. And I say this also, fat does not make you fat. It's the carbohydrates, it's the starches. And so you always want to make sure that whatever you eat is as low carb as possible. So, like Marcia said, she likes to use crackers. So, what it is, you can take crackers, and the more like there's crackers made that are high protein crackers that you can add cheese to, and you can add some lunch meat to, or you can add some nut butter on, or some cream cheese or something, just anything that has protein and healthy fat, so that when you walk into a situation where there's other items, you're not hungry. And that is the key for every single situation. Never walk into a party situation when hungry. And the only way to do that is to make sure to plan that you always have something that you can eat or drink right before going in. And so, a protein shake, they don't have to be refrigerated. So you can keep a 30-gram protein shake at your desk, in your purse, in your car, as long as it doesn't sit there in the heat overnight. But you can, drink it on your way to wherever you're going. Um, the other is, if you know that you're going to be invited to lots of different things and they're people that and or it's not an event. Events, obviously you're not going to take your own food to an event. But if you go to someone's house, it's okay to show up with a plate of something. It's okay to show up with some gift or food item that is safe for you to eat. I do this. I have allergies. I have really bad food allergies. So in certain situations, I just simply bring things that I know I don't have to worry about cross contamination of something that I'm allergic to. And no one ever gets offended by that, because usually I bring enough for everybody. It's not just for me. And but always plan in that way. But the other is keeping in mind that, one, in situations where there's alcohol involved, it may lower your inhibitions, it may lower your control, and therefore you may overeat or eat things that you normally wouldn't. Even if that happens, it's one time. As long as it doesn't happen continuously or every single day, and it's just a one incident thing many incidences, don't worry about it. Don't beat yourself up. Just, readdress, regroup, and, get back on track with your better eating. And now when I say better eating, all I mean is eating that helps your health better. There's no such thing as good food or bad food. It's just food that it depends on how we behave with that food. And um, so making sure that if alcohol is involved, that you're just very careful. Try to keep things around that you can munch on, chomp on, that aren't a problem, like celery sticks, carrot sticks, you can dip into ranch dressing or blue cheese dressing, having nuts around, having a charcuterie board, those type of things always are very helpful. But the other reason why it's so important to keep your stress under control is because, again, stress causes your cortisol levels to go up. So I'm going to explain this again. Stress makes your cortisol go up. Your cortisol pushes your body towards diabetes. Cortisol makes your body, it makes your body, it derails its metabolic processes. and it makes your body unable to metabolize carbohydrates in the most efficient way. When carbohydrates are metabolized efficiently, they go to muscle for energy. When they're metabolized inefficiently, which is what happens when your cortisol level is high, it goes to making fat. And that's why stress causes weight gain. And it usually causes weight gain through the middle and around the face. And so, trying to keep your stress levels down during the holidays is really important. So, the other way of planning is with your time. Time management is essential. Our body cannot tell the difference between rushing and being chased. And so it makes us anxious. It brings up our cortisol, our stress hormones, all of the stress hormones. And so, again, it just puts your body into a prime position to start making fat instead of fuel out of the food you eat. But also, like I always talk about, there's a biopsychosocial process. I talked just now about the biology. Um, and the psychosocial part, one, holidays can be fraught with, stress, like I mentioned, because there's a whole lot of extra things going on. The other is some people have difficulty during the holidays. If you've lost someone close to you, holidays can be very difficult. If you didn't always have good holidays growing up, holiday times may not be something that you look forward to. And therefore, just having that psychological impact of, watching other people celebrate and being happy that it's this time of year and that you're not feeling that way can be very difficult. And when you're feeling that way, your body changes and what it does with food. And so in those situations, if you recognize there's a pattern, then sometimes therapy is in order. Or taking that time, instead of trying to celebrate traditionally like everybody else, you take a trip someplace warm if you can. Just do something different. It doesn't have to be around a Christmas tree and presents and all the rest. You can choose what you do during this time. And that's where the social part comes in, because your friends and family need to understand and respect your process, your path, and your boundaries. And the reason that's so important is because the last thing you need is to be tempted to have people around you who are trying to sabotage your process. And you don't want to struggle. And it's so much easier to not struggle when you're around people who support you in what you're doing. And that includes at work, that includes friends and family. But again, biopsychosocial. Make sure you keep the biology under control by keeping your cortisol levels down. The best way to do that is planning. The other way to do that is also through meditation, through yoga, Pilates, therapy. There's lots of different ways, and then organizing your time. The psychological impact of the time of year is, if you're having difficulty, which many of us do during this time of year, especially in the colder months and when the time changes and it gets dark so much earlier, some people have seasonal depression. If you know that's you, or you start noticing there's a pattern, get therapy, perhaps even treatment if necessary. And then in social situations, just go into all social situations prepared. Never wing it. If you're on a healthcare process, you don't want to put your health in jeopardy by not planning when going into a situation. And if you think of it, it's not really a war, but basically you're going into battle and you don't want to go into battle unarmed, essentially. So, if you have any questions, that's really pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. So if you have questions, it can be about this, it can be about health and wellness, or weight care. If you have questions, now's the time to ask, because I know, again, this is a holiday time. We're busy. We're getting prepared. For those of us in the United States, we're preparing for Thanksgiving. And so I'm not going to keep you long because I know a lot of us have stuff to do. But if you have questions, please just ask me now, or you can write to me as well. And it's help@drtumor.com. I'm going to put the help at hertumor.com. And you can send me emails at this email address, and I will see them. My assistant will see them, and she'll flag them for me. You can also follow me on YouTube. I answer my comments. Anyone who's written to me there knows that I do. And so subscribe to my YouTube channel is a good way also of getting in touch with me. I am on Facebook. My videos, though, are more concentrated on YouTube. So if you're trying to look for information, that's the best place to find it. So if anyone doesn't have questions, I'm going to let y'all go and enjoy your holiday time. And so there will be a couple of days in December where I'll be taking a break. And so on those days, I'll let you all know long in advance. So make sure that you follow me somewhere so that when I announce it, you'll know. Sharon says, as usual, Dr. Toomer, you cover all topics well. Thank you. Thank you for listening. I really do appreciate you coming. Mark says, I don't have a question as such, but I enjoyed the session today. Thank you. Oh, thank you. All right. Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Enjoy your evening. Go and prepare for something because I know my daughters are coming home tomorrow. I'm really excited. And it's a holiday week here in the United States. So I'm just gonna say good night.